is going on, everybody? Welcome to another fun week of PGA golf. This is BobbyFi. I'll be doing my 5 in 5 minutes on golf this week, which we're going to start doing every week from now on. If you haven't checked out our video, please check out the one we did with Kenny and Eric. I think it was a really good video, but again, you can focus just on the last 10 minutes, which are really our highlighted plays if you don't have enough time to go through the whole thing. With that said, please like and subscribe and all that stuff if you're not already. And let's get right to it. I'm going to get into my top 5 plays and we will go from there. So I'm kind of extending it because there's obviously so many viable plays. So I just have different tiers here. The guys who I'm deciding between the top on DraftKings are going to be Rahm, JT, and Morikawa. Basically the same on Fanduel. Actually on Fanduel, I think you can play all 3 of these guys together if you are willing to go down and, play the Keziah or McCarthy range, which I'm open to doing in this tournament. And that's an interesting build you can get to on Fanduel. But I do think that Rahm, JT, and Morikawa are my favorite top 3. Obviously, I'm not going to argue for anybody else. There's a lot of really, really good golfers in this field and a lot of guys who aren't included on here who I will have exposure to because this is not my whole player pool. This is a loaded field. But Rahm, JT, and Morikawa. JT won the tournament last year. Morikawa suits him perfectly. And Rahm is going to break through and win the tournament very shortly. So I like these 3 the best. That's who I'm probably going to be deciding between 1 or 2 of on DraftKings. And again, you can play all 3 spend ups if you want to on FanDuel. On DraftKings, Berger, Zalatoris, Oosthuizen I have it as Berger, Smith, Scheffler on FanDuel. You could switch it around and do it either way on either site. I just thought based on ownership and projections and everything like that, it just sort of fit a little bit better for me to go this way. But I really like Berger. I know he's going to be chalky. I don't mind Zalatoris as probably half the ownership of Berger or somewhere in that range. I really like that. And then Oosthuizen, who is in the same price range, and is just the interesting pivot off, hopefully, return to last season's form. And Sheets and Kenny were higher on him than I was, but I've heard a million people I respect who love golf who are saying at the ownerships that they really like Oosthuizen this week. So I'm going to take a shot or 2 there, but he's not my priority. My priority would go in that order: Berger, Zalatoris, then him. But that's what I've got for right now. You can see on DraftKings, I've got Homa, Gooch. I really like Cam Smith, by the way. I just think that also on FanDuel, he makes a little bit more sense price-wise and tier-wise. Max Homa, Taylor Gooch, love both of them this week. I'll have both of them together and separate. They're both cheap at 75 and 7,200 respectively. And on FanDuel, I have it as Gooch, Henley, Connors, who are more in a similar range. But I really think that there's a good argument for both Homa and Gooch. Disappointing end to this tournament last week for Gooch, but played really, really well. And strives in the tough conditions. And these guys can both hit it. And I think it's a really good spot for both of them. Like I said, Gooch, Henley, and Connors, I'll get my exposure to. Henley and Connors, I'll probably get more exposure to on FanDuel than I will DK. Fleetwood, Casey, Kim, and Fitz, all in a similar price tier. I think that the obvious one, Casey, is going to be the one everybody plays. I really like Casey in this tournament. I'm not going to argue against a lot of these plays. I really like Fitz, who's going to be the other most, well, I guess Fitz will be the most popular. Casey will be the next most popular of this group. But I love Fleetwood and Kim as not just pivots, but I think they have a good chance to make a run. This course suits Kim. He does really well on the PTI courses, as Kenny mentioned earlier. And Fleetwood is just a better golfer than he gets credit for, probably under the radar, finished top 20 last week. And I have a feeling he's going to do the same thing again this week. So I really like this little range right here. And then I have Adam Scott and Fitz on FanDuel, who sort of are in the same price tier. And that's who you kind of want to get after. The bottom tier, these are my favorites, but there's a lot of guys I listed in our video earlier that I'm interested in. Keziah, Peters, and Wise on DraftKings, Keziah, McCarthy on FanDuel. Keziah has made, I think it's 6-7 cuts in a row. He's got a wide range of outcomes in general, but he's actually been more consistent lately. It's not like a course fit or anything like that. It's just he's too cheap based on his current results. Thomas Peters, the same thing. The current results for Peters have been a little bit shaky in the US, but this guy's been really, really good, and he's 6,300. Aaron Wise at 66 is right in between. I think he's a really interesting play. I just like to bet on the talent and the upside level. So these are guys who I'm going to be using in my cores. Keziah and McCarthy, as I mentioned, I'm not in love with McCarthy, but he does seem like unusually too cheap on FanDuel. So that's why I have him there. But certainly don't mind if you want to go a different direction with your builds. That was just what I was doing, is going up and down on FanDuel. And you don't even need to go down with the worst players in the world. You're getting nearly minimum costs for Keziah and McCarthy. Anyway, good luck to everyone this week. Let's crush it. Want to see screenshots in the Discord and want to see somebody take down the $1 million. So good luck to the True DFS team. I'm BobbyFi. These were my 5 in 5. And let's make some money, y'all.